Greetings to all conference participants. For your attention is a presentation on the topic Recovery of the Energy System of Ukraine towards the Development of Renewable Energies. My name is Eugen Terekhov and I'm a research associate at Ioneum Research in Graz, Austria. I hold a degree in business economics and PhD in economics of nature use and environmental protection. My research focuses on the development of renewable energies and climate policy decisions. Background to the problem. In view of the Europe-wide energy crisis and global climate change, Ukraine could contribute to the development of the entire European energy network of it rebuilds its energy system after the war in accordance with the principles of climate neutrality. The article examines the problem of rebuilding the energy system in Ukraine as a result of the Russian invasion and subsequent destruction of the energy infrastructure. The extent of the destruction of energy facilities was examined in connection with the necessary change in the structure of energy sources used in accordance with climate goals and as an opportunity for the modernization of the Ukrainian energy system and its integration into the pan-European power grids. The aim of the research was to identify options for the development of renewable energy in Ukraine as prerequisite for the modernization of its energy industry towards climate neutrality. Methods. Destruction of fossil energy plants is an incentive for increasing investments in the green sector of the country's energy industry. In order to understand the real scale of the war-related destruction of Ukraine's energy infrastructure, statistical methods of data collection are used, taking into account that currently about one-fifth of Ukraine's territory is occupied by Russia. To determine the necessary change in the structure of energy supply by energy sources in Ukraine, a comparative method was used. For this purpose, structures of primary energy consumption by energy source in Ukraine and some EU countries that have achieved significant results in achieving climate targets were compared. The calculation of future volumes of electricity production in Ukraine from renewable energy sources was determined by analyzing their capacity factors. Favorable natural condition for the production of renewable energy, reduction of the costs of green electricity generation, loss of a large part of coal-fired power plants due to the war, development of energy-saving measures in key sectors of energy consumption. The structure of resource is next. War-related destruction in Ukraine's energy system. Damage calculations for the energy system of Ukraine due to war. Characteristics of the structure of the energy balance of Ukraine. Disadvantages of the Ukraine energy system from perspective of climate neutrality goals. Key goals of the Ukrainian government for climate neutrality of the domestic energy system. Importance of various energy sources in the energy supply of Ukraine. Prerequisites for the integration of the Ukraine energy system into the EU networks. Potential for the production of renewable energies in Ukraine. The greatest destruction of the energy system occurred in zones of occupation of the Ukrainian territory. On this slide, you can see how this territory changed during the war. The greatest damage in Ukraine's energy system as a result of the war was caused to coal and gas power plants, almost all of which were ruined to varying degrees. Restoration of these facilities is required only to stabilize the energy system. Development investments should be directed to the development of renewable energy sources, because only in this energy sector does active innovation development take place. The shrinking of the total population in Ukraine reduces the country's domestic consumption and creates condition for energy imports from the EU. At the same time, energy-saving measures are being taken in key sectors. The country's willingness to export energy is positive for the attraction of foreign investments in the domestic energy sector. The share of green energy in the country's energy balance is changing in line with pan-European trends towards phasing of fossil fuels. However, it is highly likely that Ukraine will remain dependent of nuclear energy until 2070. In the last years before the war, only renewable energy sources had positive dynamics in their development. According to the plan for the restoration of Ukraine, the share of renewable energy sources in primary energy consumption should increase from current 8% to 25% by 2035. For structural planning of renewable energy, the cost and or to intensity should be taken into account. This photovoltaics and onshore wind show the lowest cost of electricity generation among current green power generation technologies. Most favorable regions of Ukraine for electricity generation from wind energy are in the mountainous west and south in the country. The expansion of wind energy plants in the west of the country is preferable from the point of view of security during the war. Solar energy in Ukraine is produced at the lowest cost in the south of the country, but the occupation of Ukraine's territory by Russia in the south currently prevents the development of solar energy plants in this region. According to the project of the recovery plan of Ukraine, pessimistic and optimistic scenarios of the development of renewable energy sources were created. This variance reflects the scope of investments that can be included. Depending on the pessimistic and optimistic scenarios for the development of renewable energy in Ukraine, with and without nuclear power, Ukraine's export potential in 2050 could vary from profit 197.27 terawatt hours to deficit 71.1 terawatt hour per year. Only in the optimistic scenario, would it be possible for Ukraine to convert its energy supply structure to a climate neutral basis by 2070, ensure its competitiveness competitiveness on the energy market and integrate its energy networks into the pan-European energy system. Conclusions. The destruction of the energy system in Ukraine as a result of the war requires a rapid exit from fossil technologies. Development investments should only be directed to the green energy sector. The development of renewable energies can be seen as a tool for integrating the Ukrainian energy system into the pan-European energy network. The realization of the optimistic or pessimistic scenario for the development of renewable energies in Ukraine will depend crucially on the volume of foreign investment. Increasing energy saving measures in domestic energy consumption increases Ukraine's export potential, which is seen as a motivation for foreign investors in the development of the Ukrainian climate neutral energy system. The best natural conditions in Ukraine exist for the development of wind energy. Wind turbines can be used efficiently in the west of the country. In the south, territories are still be reclaimed for Ukraine from Russian occupation. On the way to climate neutrality, nuclear energy is expected to continue to be used as a bridging technology until 2070. Thank you for your attention.